today we're about to do a caliper conversion on this 2021 Dodge Durango, the RT one. We're about to do the SRT upgrade brakes, and yeah, we're gonna do the conversion because they got the basic brakes. Let me show you. See the basic calipers, basic. So we're gonna upgrade the bigger calipers, bigger rotors. All right, so let's get it. All right, first things first, we're gonna jack it up, put it on stands, so we could start with the front first. Okay, so let's jack it up. Okay, now it's jacked up. Let's do the rear after we do the front. So I'm gonna show you how to do one side. It's gonna be the exact same way as the other side. Okay, same thing will be done on this side. So you can start on whichever side. Okay, now let's remove these wheels. Should be a 21, 22, one of those. I like spraying these with WD-40 so the socket doesn't get stuck in there. Make sure you wipe it down, okay? But that's for the socket don't get stuck on there. It will slip off instead of getting stuck. You know, you gotta wiggle it. But anyways, let's move the wheel. Okay, before you start, I'm gonna show you the other side. If you want to do this conversion, you're gonna need this spacer, which is a 1-inch spacer. When you put it on, you're gonna need to cut this lug right here down so the rim could fit on there flush. Because if you don't shave this thing, there's gonna be a gap between the wheel and the spacer, and you don't want that. Okay, so if you want to do this, it's gonna be up to you, because your OEM lugs is gonna be cut permanently. So if you want to go back, you have to get new studs. So you have to cut this stud. I said lug nut, but it's a stud. That's what I meant. The stud, the OEM stud, has to be cut before you put the wheel on. You put the wheel back on. All right, just letting you know before you get into this. And yes, the back, same way. You have to cut the OEM to get to it. All right, as you see how I cut it? Is how you have to cut the stud to make it flush. Let me show you with the spacer on. Okay, let me show you. Put the spacer on, and it's how it looks with the bolt. Okay, that's how it would be. Me, I like to put some Loctite on there and screw it in. So I'm gonna get some Loctite, put it in there, then put it back in there. Okay, you're gonna do it for all of them. Cut every single one of these and make it like this. You see how it's flush? So the wheel could sit, bing, just like that. If you want to see how it look with the gap, this is how it look if you was to have the spacer on without cutting it. You see the gap? That's how much gap you would have. You see lug nuts, you have to put those on, and you see this big ass gap. It won't go any further because this is hitting it. You see how the top one is hitting the rim? That's how it will be. This is the gap. Okay, so you have to cut it to make it flush. So I'm gonna cut them and you'll see how it looks. And yes, you could use the same bolts for these. You don't have to get any other lug nut. You use the same lug nut OEM to put the wheel back on. Okay, this is the upgrade right here. Boom, boom. This is what we're going to be installing on the car. Okay, first things first, I like to turn the wheel all the way towards the opposite side. So I'll turn it towards the left so the caliper can be towards me. All you gotta do is remove this 15 over here, the brake line, and the whole caliper, because we don't have to take out the brakes. We're removing everything just to put the rotor back on. Well, to put another rotor over there, the rotor. Okay, so I like putting these on the brake line so I don't lose much fluid. I can only lose some, but not that much. But if you want to do completely fresh fluid, you could drip out everything. But this fluid is pretty fresh, so I'm gonna just over here Okay, now not much fluid gonna come out of here. There's gonna be some because the line over here is gonna be with fluid, but other than that, I got it right here. Let's take this off. Once you wash the washer, you're gonna need washer for both sides on the next one. If you're doing steel lines, the same process, you just gotta remove the OEM. But they're doing OEM lines, so you see not that much fluid's coming out of here. It's just coming out the caliper over here. This out now. You guys need a 17 Torx to take this out. It's a Torx. You see how it's shaped. All these Jeeps, Dodge, same thing. Take this off, both sides. Well, top and bottom. So let's do that. Yes, you could use the same bolt for the next one. For the next caliper. Okay, let's take this off. Top and bottom. If you have a Jeep, it's the same thing, same process. Okay, take this caliper off. Go. There's your caliper. Old caliper. That shit. This is made from Chrysler, if you didn't know. Chrysler. Okay, it's the OEM. So this is held on by this rubber piece over here. The rotor. Sometimes. You see, it's not that loose. Now I'm gonna get a rubber mallet and just bang on it. If you're not gonna use this again, you can bang it with a metal one, but I'm gonna use a rubber. Okay. Alrighty. Now I'll take this over there. Now I get the big dogs over there. On the rotor, it'll say left and right. Some people like putting it. Let me show you. Like this. You see how it flows like that? They want to make it flow like that, but it's not how it's supposed to be. This would be the driver's side, right? This is the passenger. So this is going this way. Okay. Let's put this rotor on. So now let's get the. If you got new one of these, use the new one. If not, just reuse the old one. Like me. Okay, so make sure it's inside the groove. Now, let's get the caliper. We're gonna set up the caliper first. We're gonna put the brake pads in there and the clips and everything. So all we gotta do is slap it on here. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so if you got this loose already, let's take this out, man, as well. If not, sometimes I know these. I remember I had one that was stuck on there. I couldn't take these off. I had to do the brakes from the other side. But it doesn't matter which side you're doing on. You could do on either side. But I want to do it on this side since I'm here ready. You see? Boom. You gotta do that. Put the pin in. And yeah. Pretty much it. Okay, so you're just gonna see me do this process like so. Okay, so let's put this on. If you don't know which way this goes, you see this thing is faced up towards the bleeders. If you didn't know how to put it on, okay? And for the pins, the pin this side will go this way, like this. Boom. Let's get the brake. Okay. Now let's put this in there. Like so. So okay. Damn, I forgot to press record, but this is how you're supposed to do it. This goes here, under here, and this go. That's how it goes. Now this is a 14, let's tighten that. 13, not 14. 13. Alrighty. Now let's take this caliper, put it back on the car. Now let's put this caliper back on. There. So. Alright. Now let's put the bolts. Bolts should be easy to put in. This is the exact SRT setup. Bolt on. Okay, so I'm gonna tighten these. Tighten those. Put in the brake line. And yeah, as you see, it is on. Take this off now. Need that there. Now when you're bleeding it, make sure you check for leaks between here and here. Okay, so this is it. I'm gonna use this sawzall to cut the threads. Well, the stud. Put some thread lock on there, medium strength. Little one. Oh, not too much, not too much. Oh, oh, oh. So these are 19s. Yeah, took them down 100 pounds each. Okay, so for the rear, you're gonna need 18 mil for the bolts, which is weird. The rear is 18 mil and the front is a Torx. But yeah, it's gonna need 18 mil. Loosen this, take off the caliper. Make sure you remove the brake line first. Clamp it, take it off. Same process as the front. Remove it. I'm gonna cut this first before I take off this rotor. Okay. I'm gonna use a wrench 15 to remove this brake hose. Remember, some is gonna fall out from the caliper, not the hose, because we clamped it. There you go. Some from the hose, but not much. Not much. Anyways, let that drip while removing the 18 mil. Okay, remove those, remove the caliper. There you go. Here's your caliper. Now I'm gonna cut these studs, OEM ones, and put the rotor on, caliper, boom. Okay, so as you see, it is done, the rear. Now all you gotta do is bleed the system. we're gonna start with the passenger rear and go to this one in the driver's side rear, the passenger front, driver's side front. See, as you see, the rim barely touching. Well, the rim, see the gap? That's how it'll be closed after you trim the lugs, the stud. But anyways, that's how it looks. See, almost touching the caliper. Can't put my finger in there. That was it with the conversion on the Durango. Same thing with the Jeeps, Jeep Grand Cherokee, same process. All right. So, if it helps you out, give me a like, subscribe. Later.